Okay, guys and gals, this is going to be the start of a multi-part video. How many parts, I do not know. But you'll discover how many there are along with me as I go through them. I have purchased the new X controller from Inventables. I had thought when I ordered it, it would come as portrayed here on the box, one assembled piece. Well, yeah, guess what? It's in hundreds of pieces, this being the largest. This is the frame, box frame. This is a power supply that goes in there. This is a top plate, I believe. An electronics board, emergency kill switch, another small electronics board, another small electronics board, connectors, assorted cabling, power cord. Oops, here's more nuts and screws, and another piece of the box, and another piece of the box. And there you have it, my unassembled X controller. Boy, I was really surprised. I don't know what I was thinking. I know what I was thinking. I was thinking I was getting an assembled box like this. And all I had to do was open the box up, pull it out, hook it up, plug it up, and go. Well, that's not the case. This is what it is. All these pieces and parts that needs to be assembled. So, and I got to looking, and there's not an assembly instruction 1 in here. What I had to do, what I'm going to do and have to do or have done, is I've got to go online, and I've bookmarked it on my computer already. There are the assembly instructions electronically on the internet. So that's where we're going to start. I guess I could open some of this up and see exactly what it is before we get started. But wow, this is I don't know why it's surprising, everything I've got from these guys I've had to put together. This is the board. Another little board is taped together here. Do I have something? Oh, let's see if I got something I can cut this tape with over here. I should have. Yep, there we go. Well, I just done something, bleeding all over everywhere. Oh well, there you go. Hadn't started out and I'm damaging myself already. Alright, that's some sort of a little push button arrangement. And this is another little electronics board of some sort. I will find out as I go through the assembly instructions. This is a pretty, it must be an end plate for it. Tells you what it is. I'm going to assume that's the front plate. And because of all the holes in this one, I'm going to assume that that's the back plate. Yeah, well, hold it up right there. We go. That's the back plate. Sure, it's hard to get these angles right when I'm looking in the viewfinder and everything's backwards. Or maybe it's just me. And this is just a slide-in plate. I believe that's the top plate that slides on. After I've put everything together. And this is the power supply. So I'll leave it in this box for now. Best place for it. And these are all just nuts and screws. Okay, I'm going to stop the video for a moment and go out here and get a rag and wipe all this blood off of me and off the table here where I've got blood everywhere. I didn't even realize I did it. I scraped my arm on something. I do that all the time, so I'll be back shortly. Alright, now that I'm back after getting my arm bandaged up, as you can see, here's the computer. Let me zoom in on this if I can get my zoom button. As you can see, here's the computer. As it says, X controller assembly, and it's just all right here on the internet. Nothing hardcore, nothing hard written, everything's right here. So I just need to keep my computer up and scroll through it as we go. So what I'm going to do is turn around here and pan back around to my table. I'm going to go ahead and use my CNC router table as my building table. Zoom back out and get started here. Okay. Bill of materials, check that. Tools, Phillips screwdriver, Allen wrenches. I don't know if I've got these tools. I'm going to assume I do. That the same tools that I used to assemble the router table will be the similar same tools that I need for this assembly here. We will see. Okay, first thing you do is attach the tire supply. This is an optional step, but it's 4 rubber feet to the bottom of the chassis. So what I need to do is find the 4 rubber feet. There they are there. Let's put those all back in there so I don't lose them. Put these back in here so they don't walk away. Give myself a little operating room here. It's just a little, well, there went my receiver, a transmitter, I guess I should say. 4 little feet here to just press through. Alright, not a whole lot to that. Starting through on the top and then go on the bottom and pull them on through. Step one successfully completed. Wasn't that interesting? All right, here we go. Let me get this back up here, see if I can get it back to where it belongs. Tucked on my... All right, prepared enclosed power supply. First thing I do is set it up for the proper voltage, which here in the US is 110 volts. It's still got the packing on it, so let me cut that off. Like I said, folks, you're going to see this as I do, so bear with me if this is too boring or dull or mundane for you. I do apologize, but that's the way it works. Power supply interface PCB. Let's go back and move the screws. Okay, this out of the way, and this looks to be. This is the power supply PCB right here, and I've got to attach that to here. So it says first thing is lift the plastic cover. There, that worked. And loosen screws that interact with this. So these first three need to be loosened up. If you can see what I'm doing here, not loosening these screws where this power supply board goes. And the first three screws there, number 4 and number 1. This is number 4. This is number 1. Oh, I thought that slid in. You got to pull those all the way out. Well, dadgum. All right. Try not to lose these down the holes in my board here. Fortunately, the end of this screwdriver is magnetic tipped, so that helps some. Last one. Alright, let's stick you in there like that. I'm going to go ahead and try to stick these on the board and then screw them back down. Well, that's about that. I put one in and the other one pops out. That was cool. Alright. Okay, I got my 5 screws back in. Let's see how this is going to go. Come on, come on, come on. Well, that didn't help at all. The magnetism on the screw pulled the 2 out once they got close together. Oh, was trying to get this one started. There. Kind of fiddly here with this plastic cover, keeps flopping down back in the way, but work around that all right. Okay, now to snug these down, make sure they're snug, make sure I got a good contact. That's my plus and negative DC. This is my ACN 120 over here, ground, neutral, and line. Alright, that step is completed. Push that cover back down. There's a completed piece. Alright, next step. Attach power supply to the chassis. Use the 4 M4x8 button head cap screws. Alright, that must have been in here. Okay, unlike the router, everything was labeled. Here you just got to guess. M4x8 button head cap screws. I'm going to assume let's see if these are them. Here there's 4 in here, so let's see if that's what it is. They're awfully small, but if they fit the hole, then that's all I need. Come on, just want one of you. Alright. Nope, that's not it. That's way too little. So put you back. Get the next size up. Kind of suspected it was these to begin with. My big old fat fingers and these little pieces sometimes have a conflict with each other. I'm sure I'm not the only one out there that has that problem, but all right, that looks to be the item. So okay, attach the power supply. Okay, it doesn't tell you, it says it's not symmetrical, it says it'll be flush with the end of the board when it's installed correctly. And I don't see any holes meeting up that way, so let's turn this around and see if this is the way it goes. Yes. Uh-oh, where'd my hole go? I saw them just a minute ago. There they are. Okay. All right. Now here's the trick. Hold this up while I get that hole started. Screw bolt started. Just loose, leave it there loose so I can get the next bolt in. I guess they're calling these screws nut bolts, button head cap screws. Let's put you back in here and get you out of the way. Come on, second one, come on. Alright, come on, get lined up there where you'll go in. Alright, 3 in, 1 to go. 4th one in. Now I can snug these all down. Instructions say that these threads are kind of delicate, not to get carried away tightening them down, just to snug them, so that's all I'm doing. Alright, power supply installed. Now on to the next step. So far so good. Install controller board. This, okay, that's here. It says unless you're an advanced user looking to make some tweaks or want an easy way to use your X controller without rewiring your machine, you won't need to make any adjustments. That being said, in order for the GRBL firmware to know how far the machine will move, in reality, a few things need to be set on the controller board. Micro stepping one of those things and allows the motors to move to positions between normal steps, increasing accuracy. And okay, I'll read all that later. Right now I just want to install it. Okay, where does it show you how to put it in? It shows you the board. Let's prepare the board. Am I missing something here? Attach stops, it says. Install the M4 button head cap screws in the threaded holes on the side of the chassis. Stops. What are these stops? That's the controller board. Alright folks, I'm going to pause the video for the moment while I go and find what they're telling me to do, and I'll be back when I found them. Okay folks, I have a pretty bad habit, I would say, of just skimming over instructions, kind of hitting the high words on them and not reading in depth what I need to do, and try to figure out what I need to do after I've skimmed it. And sometimes that works and sometimes it don't. Other times I have to stop myself and force myself to go back and read in depth the instructions to see what they're saying. And what they were saying is taking these little screw, and it just screws into the side of the cabinet here. Of course I had to go down a step or two extra to figure out what it was they were trying to tell me. This just screws into the side of the cabinet. And this next board here, it's called the controller board. It slides on rails in and out of this cabinet, and it slides back, and these screws are inside, come out on the inside of the rails, and that's just a stop for that board. That prevents it from going any further. So that was that step. And they called that the, well, where was it? I'll I'll get back to it in a minute. I attached the stops, the M4 butthead cap screws, they just called it stops, okay. Now I need to wire the controller board. Attach the cables to the power supply interface. Alright. Which cables are we talking about here? Okay. Once again, this is going to be a very chopped up video, folks, because I've got a whole bag of stuff here. I got to go in there and figure out what it is they're wanting me to install next and all, and where to install it. Let me do that. I'm going to stop filming right now, and I'll come back once I've figured out what it is they're trying to tell me to do, and we'll go ahead and do the process, and I'll show you that process being completed.